Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you are all having a great day. To start things off, stock exchange operator Nasdaq is adding yet another cryptocurrency index, this time for the world's third largest cryptocurrency, that would be XRP. The company announced on Monday that through its partnership with New Zealand-based blockchain data and research firm Brave New Coin, it will offer real-time index information for XRP starting on the 1st of May. Specifically, the XRP liquid index, known as XRPLX, will offer a spot or reference rate for the price of XRP quoted in US dollars and based on the most liquid ends of their markets. They said the XRPLX sources data from the most liquid exchanges by volume and order book depth. Brave New Coin said in a separate statement, adding, current constituent exchanges for the XRPLX include Bitfinex, Bitstamp, Poloniex, and Kraken, with Coinbase to be added in the next review. The new stream will be available on the Nasdaq Global Index Data Services, SM or GIDS. Its consolidated data feed. The index includes data going back to 2014 and is refreshed every 5 minutes. The index is calculated using a methodology that has been independently audited against the International Organization of Securities Commission IOSCO principles, the firm added. So there's your speculation for the day. We had information a while ago. Yep, right here. Nasdaq first partnered with Brave New Coin earlier this year when it added indices or indexes for Bitcoin and Ether to its global data service. And that made everyone kind of go completely insane, because the idea is that what we know so far, depending on where you look or depending on the information that you actually get, it appears, I mean, they said it would happen soon, and I don't know how soon is for them, but the Nasdaq announced that they are going to be launching, if either, I think, a cryptocurrency trading desk or like actual cryptocurrency, I think it's like Bitcoin futures or something as well on their platform. It depends on how deep you want to go. I'm pretty sure they're going to launch all of this stuff. It's just a matter of when. Anyway, the point is, before they added Bitcoin and then they added Ether, and everyone was like, yeah, that's amazing. And at least a speculation as if these coins are actually going to be on their platform, because one would assume you wouldn't add a coin to your indexes for millions of people around the world to see, as you are the Nasdaq, to not eventually add that coin when you were talking about before adding cryptocurrencies to your platform. And since we had the other two before, this is everyone always typically adds Bitcoin and Ether first. It's just kind of how the world works. And now they have added XRP to their index list. That is to say, they now have, or going to have, starting I think tomorrow, definitely tomorrow, Bitcoin, Ether, and XRP indexes. And that means eventually one would assume that when they launch their final thing, that they're probably going to have those three coins onto their platform, because you probably wouldn't list three coins and then, list Bitcoin Diamond on your website as well. Anyway, a lot of people are speculating exactly what this could mean. I have had a feeling, all these people know each other. For those who don't know, all rich people know each other, and I don't mean that as a joke either. I mean, like, the very rich know the other very rich. So I'm sure there were many talks going on behind the scenes for a very long time, especially since we've seen within the United States that a lot of other places have started adding XRP to their platform. Like, we know that Coinbase also added it, and even further, I think the entire security discussion has completely gone out the window, because we know that the Nasdaq and the New York Stock Exchange, and for what it's worth also Coinbase, they all hold these security paperwork, stack of paper, whatever allows them to list securities, and this is why they've been adding other coins that could also potentially be securities. So there seems to be no reason why they wouldn't add XRP to their platform. I think it would be a little weird if the Nasdaq was going to launch something with cryptocurrencies as far as trading or whatever the actual case might be, and they only added 2 coins. And that is to say, there are 2,000 current cryptocurrencies, and logically at least add the top 10. Anyway, we'll see exactly how this ends up going. Like, guys, I'm pretty sure the Nasdaq and the New York Stock Exchange both said that they would be launching these things early 2019. Not sure how early is, but I mean, it's almost the middle of the year. Oh yeah, hold on. And this is the actual thing, NasdaqTrader.com, where they actually listed right here what you need to know. Effective Wednesday, May 1st, Nasdaq, through its data dissemination relationship with Brave New Coin, will send real-time XRP index level information on the Nasdaq Global Index Data Service, SMGIDS. Right. Next up, Ontology is about to launch the Paxos standard stablecoin, a cryptocurrency backed one-to-one with US dollars on its blockchain. The launch will make it easier for individuals and businesses using Ontology's token to interact or transact in fiat-pegged tokens. Ontology announced on Friday, yeah, that was it. That was the end of the sentence. The firm told CoinDesk that it plans to add up to 100 million Pax to the Ontology network, depending on demand. Paxos Standard is a regulated US dollar-backed stablecoin that was launched last September. It is currently available only on the Ethereum blockchain as an ERC20 token, but now there will be a second option. The new version of Pax would have the same ticker symbol and be based on Ontology's OEP4 token standard. It kind of is what it is. We know why a lot of other coins in general and projects are moving on to other blockchains. Ethereum is not the quickest, at least right now. We have news. It might take a while for Ethereum to get a bit quicker, and this is why we've also seen, what was the other coin? I think it was Tether that also just moved, or rather is also now on top of the Tron network as well. You cannot have slow anything in the crypto world anymore, just kind of how things are. Someone was asking me yesterday, I saw it in the comment section, what I think about Paxos. I'm really neither here nor there when it comes to crypto stable coins, rather. Like, I don't really care about them. They're going to be a thing. They're going to continue to be a thing. I think at the moment, Paxos and the Gemini coin are the, air quotes, most regulated coins that we have out there as far as stable coins. I mean, I assumed also last year that Paxos and Gemini coin would eventually become the largest coins, as far as, like, you would assume that as they are the most regulated and have the most paperwork behind them, that they would have the most amount of people throwing money at them to make them become larger and kind of take over Tether, or at least pass by Tether, or at least be a rival, something to Tether. But they seem to be growing slowly. But like I said, stable coins, they don't really excite me as much as other coins, but we see a movement from other projects onto different blockchains because Ethereum can't handle them at the moment. Next up, Binance Research has released an in-depth report on Tron, a public blockchain that serves as the infrastructure for a decentralized internet. Its native cryptocurrency TRX is the 10th largest cryptocurrency by market cap. While the report pegs the current count of dApps on Tron at 394, that number has swelled to 402 as the platform continues to see an influx of blockchain developers who are joining and building on the ecosystem. Tron has excelled at cornering the market for blockchain-based gaming in betting dApps, with Tron Bet ranking as the most successful with 2,300 users in the past 24 hours. I know that may not sound like a lot to a lot of people. There was a problem, or an issue, in 2018, the very beginning of it, and even the end of 2017, when everyone was creating tons of games and blockchain apps and dApps and gambling so, where, like, most games had, like, 14 people playing it in one day. That's not even a joke. There was, I think people got ahead of themselves when it came to creating these, or rather too many games. I mean, go for it. If you can do it, go for it. Build something on top of one of these blockchains. But I think there were so many out there, and the falling prices kind of deterred a lot of people from wanting to even get into the cryptocurrency space, and therefore had no interest in even playing these games. So, like I said, 2,300 might not seem like a lot, but from where we've been before, that is an actual very successful number as we've been going on. According to the Binance report, TRX has exceeded 100 million transactions and is used for several purposes. They said examples of Tron use cases, according to Binance, are payments for services and goods provided by service providers and merchants on the Tron network, payment for fees and commissions for running native smart contracts, exchanging the third-party issued Tron Classic network tokens, freezing TRX to delegate energy towards running smart contracts, or voting for super representatives. Yeah, I mean, Binance has been releasing a number of reports on different coins. While I don't care for Tron, I will say this. I have noticed in 2017 and 2018, and this is where it gets interesting. If your blockchain did not work or does not work, you were called out very quick, almost immediately, by the entirety of the cryptocurrency community. I have yet to see many developers attacking Tron based on their blockchain usage, as far as not working, code not being put together. In the very beginning, Tron had an issue where people figured out that part of its white paper was plagiarized. That completely aside, say what you might about Tron, I don't care for it, but I have yet to see other prominent people in the cryptocurrency space saying that it does not work. Especially, I mean, I would assume that Binance is at least diligent in what they say. And we also do have other people. This was something I think that happened a couple of days ago or something like that, where they actually passed by the 100 million transactions. I feel like at some point, if money had been lost or transactions weren't going through, or there was like a bit of a large of a hold up and, you know, just a slowdown on the network, we definitely would have heard about it. As of yet, we have not. I think I have my whatever. I'm not going to really go into it. Anyway, the point is Binance is continuing to release these, and I think that part of the reason why they're releasing all of these institutional grade reports is kind of, one, they're trying to get institutional investors into the cryptocurrency space. Institutional investors need something when they get into a new foray, into a new space, to kind of understand what they're getting into. And I also think that Binance is trying to, in its own way, be like another Weiss Ratings or the Chinese government, who's also, you know, creating substantial cryptocurrency grades and whatever, what have you. I mean, it does make sense for the, you know, to do at least the top 20 coins to kind of let people know what could be worthy of holding for the long term. Next up, Ripple continues to grow as the blockchain technology most used in the international banking system. After revealing that more than 200 financial institutions have adopted its technology solutions, the company adds a fresh new partner thanks to the decision of the Saudi British Bank, or the SABB, to use Ripple for a new instant cross-border transfer service. In an announcement on its official website, the bank revealed that the new service is part of a business strategy focused on digital transformation and enriching customer experience. The revelation was made during an event held on the 24th and 25th of April in Riyadh. They did not explain which of Ripple solutions they would be implementing. However, they emphasized that the introduction of this new platform was possible thanks to the patronage of the Saudi Arabian Monetary Authority, or the SAMA. We had news before in 2017 or 18. I can't remember the exact time frame for this instance. Where there were a lot of other banks and institutions around the world who actually came forward and said that they were going to be working with Ripple because they didn't like Swift. And that was a really big thing. That was when we had the unconfirmed rumors that Ripple was going to be working with Swift. Or rather, it is not going to happen, but these rumors were unconfirmed at this point, simply because we knew that Swift wasn't doing too well. And I think there was a situation, forgive me if I am incorrect, this is what I have read from reading books, documentaries, and other articles online. There was never a very friendly relationship between Swift and the UAE or somewhere within the Middle East, simply because I think Swift focused mainly on parts of Europe and also parts of North America. And this is where this is why South America, Africa, parts of Asia, and also the Middle East are not necessarily connected to Swift, and why there's such a huge problem when it comes to remittances and sending money back and forth is because Swift assumed that these countries would not grow economically, and therefore they had no reason to kind of be a part of it. This is what we've seen before, that a lot of banks don't open up in poorer areas, or areas that are not as economically wealthy, however way you kind of want to phrase it. As the UAE developed and grew rapidly, they kind of developed their own systems, and they worked interoperably with other companies and countries. And this is why I think that we've seen a huge push in Asia and also in the Middle East for people who are going to be using the Ripple technology. There's no word if they're going to be using Xcurrent and or Xrapid. One could assume that they're probably going to be using Xcurrent, at least for the time being. I have my own theories and my own thoughts on this as far as like the future usage of XRP. When you get into this, I mean, for those of you who want to hear it, it kind of comes down to the point that you have to understand that this entire thing is about money. Like, it's making things and services quicker and more accurate and more so and so for your customers is great. It's fine. It's dandy. But when you talk about banks, when you talk about institutions, when you talk about New York Stock Exchange and Nasdaq, it all comes down to money. This is why they're integrating these things. This is why they're making sure that these, that they are part of the game as everything kind of continues to move forward. I think it's a mistake that a lot of people have, that when you hear that X current is only going to be used, or at least is being used at the moment, that you completely dismiss that these companies and institutions are also going to be eventually using XRP. You have to remember, Ripple as a company does release every single time information that, for the amount of XRP that they took out of escrow, that they put back into escrow, and how much they actually sold to whoever the case might be. There are XRP whale watchers, and they do see that this money is kind of flowing around rapidly. We see on many occasions that people are buying up 300 million XRP, large amounts of XRP are going around, and I'm pretty sure if you looked deep enough, you could figure out that these numbers are probably coordinated in some sort of way to either news that we're getting, especially like a couple of weeks before we actually maybe even get some news, or if you even kind of put it into further context, if there have been around 150 or 200 major XRP purchases and or sales and or transfers, you can probably coordinate that to the 200 banks who have announced that they're going to be using Ripple's technology. This is just, like I said, this is just how I feel. I feel like a lot of people, when they hear X current, they're like, okay, well, no one's going to use a token. And it's like, no, you're not really paying attention to exactly what's going on behind the scenes, especially if we get into a situation where the XRP token eventually does become $10, $15, $20 and some point in the future. These banks and these institutions are going to want to hold as much XRP as possible. Anyway, my hands are actually in the air. This is just kind of how I feel about it. This is the actual announcement on their website. It took me a little bit to find it. I had to figure out where the English button was, but here's the actual press release from the SABB about their future usage of Ripple. To kind of finish things off, the energy regulator of the Canadian province of Quebec has released new rules for cryptocurrency miners. The development was announced by major Canadian electricity provider Hydro-Quebec on the 29th of April. Under the new regulations, the Régie de l'Énergie has ordered power producer Hydro-Quebec to allocate 300 megawatts to the blockchain industry. This 300 megawatt will be in addition to the 158 megawatt already granted to existing customers provided by Hydro-Quebec, and to the 210 megawatt granted to existing customers provided by municipal distributors. The announcement further explains, and it goes on to kind of blah, 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 so and so and so. There was an interesting situation that we had last year when, even further, if you want to really dig back, you can go down to 2016. A lot of people realized that when cryptocurrency mining became very electricity heavy, that they started to have to find new ways. People thought about using solar panels, but what became a really popular way of mining cryptocurrencies became hydroelectricity. And there was a situation in 2017 and 18, I think more so even early 2017 and 16, where people were actually going to Canada. They were going to, I want to say, Greenland and Alaska, and I think one or two other places to try and use their hydroelectric dams. And this was working out perfectly fine for quite a bit of time until eventually, I think China clamped down first. Who when it came to hydroelectric mining, they were like, no, you can't do this. You're taking, I think the argument was that they were taking away too much electricity from the towns and the farmers who were in the area. And then the other argument was that from the other countries is that, what I think it was, they said that it was taking up or draining too much energy from the towns and the provinces that were nearby. I think it had to do with the fact that they saw that this was going to be a new industry, the cryptocurrency mining industry. These people were getting extremely cheap electricity, and the Canadian government and any other government out there who has, clamped down on this kind of realized that they wanted to raise rates or kind of put a border on exactly how much would be given. It kind of is what it is. I think it's weird. We've gotten so used to living in a world where people tell us what we can and cannot do and how much we can of something we can't use and how much of it. It just, I wonder exactly how the world is going to change over the next couple of years. And I don't even just mean for cryptocurrencies. I mean as far as like automation, solar energy usage, hydroelectric usage, like getting away from the conventional ways that, because the way that the world has worked thus far is that people have been able to tell us what we can and cannot do with anything that we're kind of doing in our life. But as things become more decentralized, I'm not expecting this entire, electricity, Hydro-Quebec to become super decentralized over the time, but eventually this is why people start living off-grid. And this technology is also going to become cheaper as we want to live off-grid. There's a documentary I was watching before, and I think many people on TED Talks have also spoken about it as well, as far as what's going to happen in the year 2020, how cheap like the little chips that go inside of your computer, microchips or whatever, that they're eventually going to go down to the cost of 1 cent in 2020, and how everything, we'll be able to live these self-sustaining lives on our own because of technology within the next year. I know it sounds like a complete not nonsense or fairy tale, but it's how technology is developing, and eventually we won't have to worry about people telling us what we can and can't do, what we can't buy, what we can't look at, where we can go. It's going to be kind of interesting, at least for me. Anyway, I think that's definitely going to do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, great morning, great afternoon, great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. Hope it's absolutely fantastic. A lot of great news floating around all the time. I don't know if you can... Wait, where is it? Yeah, this one's a little better. Over here, it looks like the prices of crypto are going up. I read an article earlier today. It was very weird. It was talking about how for some reason different cryptocurrency exchanges and different like crypto websites are showing different crypto prices. I'm not exactly sure if the prices are going up. Like for instance, like if you look over like earlier today when Bitcoin's price was on here, was noting around like 5140. On live CoinWatch, it was showing around 5,300. On CoinMarketCap, I think it was showing like 52 something. Like they're all very weird. So I don't know if the prices are actually going up or whatever the case might be, but it's still nice to see some green. Right. As always, very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. They are Professor Wally from Gunbot University, SC Versley Fine Art, Brady Niels, L. Doug, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, Shaolin Fried Rice, Gilboa Snake, Crypto Joe, Carl Brochanoff, singer-songwriter Mike Savitz, Rai Rai, Yasha Harari, Amy Starsheen, Jeffrey Ramsey, Cryptonautic, Crypto Artist Goldie 3D, Nicholas, One Earth, One Peace, One Love, Setsuna, Nick Kanaya, Richie Rich III, RF Dusty, Cody, Vlad the Impaler, Paxos, Jeremy Fox, Jim Gardner, Minting Coins, Arthur Yako, Nick Mangialavori, and Anthony Charles. Thank you all an incredible amount for your support. And yeah, I'll talk to you all soon. See you.